God damn, guys. God fucking damn.
God, uh, how how's everybody doing, man? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to another edition of NHP. Welcome back to another edition of the news, man. This is episode 293 of the news, and we are back on here today to talk about a whole lot of WWE stories and 3 AEW stories per usual. I don't know what they got going on, even though there is sort of a little side thing we could talk about. I guess it's not news, but there is a little side thing we could talk about with AEW and full gear predictions at the end, man. We're gonna end you guys off with the full gear predictions. Excuse me, as we will be live on here tomorrow night with the AEW Full Gear official post-show review, man. So we're excited for that. We're excited for that. As actually no, I'm lying. We're not excited for that. What am I talking about? We're not excited for that at all. As a matter of fact, I'm excited to be on here with you
Absolutely
guys.
not.
I'm not excited for the show. Um, I'm not excited for the show, and yeah, that show. I mean, we'll go over it at the end of this, obviously, when we do our predictions. But that show looks terrible. I can't lie. Now I'll give AEW this. Usually, when the shows look terrible, they end up being okay. I'll say that. But in terms of on paper, the show does look terrible. I can't lie.
Oh, yeah, this build has been absolutely atrocious, dude. I don't care. How do you have the most interesting thing on television? You know, the whole Darby and Death Rider stuff. And I overall still don't care because you set up like the weirdest matches for that story. Again, I'm sure the show itself is going to be good when we're watching it, but leading up and leading into it, I genuinely couldn't care less, man. But probably enjoyed in the moment. Usually how those AEW shows go, but man, they didn't set themselves up for boredom this one.
Yes, they definitely did. They definitely did, man. But um, yeah. So with that being said, thank you guys as always for joining us. Thank you guys as always for joining us here today for another edition of the news. And as always, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to another edition of the news. If it's your first time watching, guys, do not know how the show works. Every Monday, we are, every Tuesday, we are on here at 12 p.m. Central with NHP Unscripted. And every Friday, we are on here at 3 p.m. Central with the news. So, appreciate you guys, man. We were actually supposed to be on at 12 today. Things ended up working out to where we were able to be on at our normal time. So as we get into the holiday season, definitely expect things to maybe change on a dime. So we do apologize for that. There should be a few weeks where we probably will be on at 12. But there's always a chance we do go on at 3. So like normal. So we appreciate you guys, man. We appreciate you guys popping out for 3 o'clock show like normal, as always, man. Thank you guys very much. So if you guys did miss this past Monday's edition of this past Tuesday's edition of Unscripted, I'm all fucked up, bro. I'm ready to bake. Okay, so if you guys did miss this past Tuesday's edition of Unscripted, John Cena's final Raw in Madison Square Garden, bro. The new shirt, it's ugly as fuck, but the Padres shirt, it says on the sleeve, John Cena's final PLE. Holy shit.
That is true. That's crazy, dude. Man, goddamn.
Crazy.
Man, that
Crazy.
shirt was good.
I know. So we have John Cena's final premium live event. We have his final premium live event coming up here in just about a week. As man, it is crazy to think about, bro. Very crazy to think about. But Yeah. With that being said, uh, yes, if you guys did miss that, that is available for you guys on all platforms. That is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to see it first, join us right here live on YouTube. Like I said, Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Central, man. Also, if you guys have not got a chance to get your hands on some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video, man, where you can find this beautiful piece of Notorious merchandise live on there as we speak, man. And with that being said, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are here at Notorious Heels, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show. As for the other half, we got my man Sir K. Sir K, go ahead and tell everybody what it is here on November 21st, 2025. What it is you're smiling about today.
Oh man, it's been a week. It was a
Yes.
very week. I could say that Tuesday was, my God. But I'm here. I'm excited to be here. Excited for Friday. I'm excited for to watch the show tomorrow. At least I'm excited for an aspect of it, man. I'm always excited to watch the show with, you know, with you and all that. But the show itself, I mean, it's kind of just there at this point. It's more about the hangout. But overall, I am very excited for this weekend, man. And got another one after this. We got Survivor Series next weekend. Got a break, and then probably going to be the saddest weekend all year. Still not prepared, but it's gonna hit. So
Ooh.
goddamn. But overall, man, overall I'm doing good. Just been chilling, man. Just been chilling and just been moving, man. You know how it goes. But other than that, like Durante always asks, how's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How is everybody doing in the live chat? How's everyone doing in the replay? What about you, bro? How are you doing?
I am good. I am doing good. I am doing good. Just chilling, bro. Just chilling. Nothing too much, bro. Nothing too much. Just getting ready to enjoy the Friday and getting ready to enjoy the weekend, man. So nothing too much, bro. But yeah, that's I'm pretty close to being back to normal. Sometimes I mentioned to you guys I still had a little bit of a dry cough. Um Pretty close to being back to normal. The only thing that really gets me is like long spurts of talking, so like pretty much this. So like my whole fucking one of my whole jobs. So so that's wonderful. That's the only thing that really gets me at this point. But other than that, your boy is pretty much back to normal, which is great news for me. If there's one thing I hate in this world, it is being sick. I swear to God, I fucking hate it more than fucking Triple H on Monday nights, man. I really do. So you know, I mean, it is it thankfully Jesus, it's coming to an end. Excuse me. Thankfully it's coming to an end. But yeah, that's all I got, bro. That's all I got. But as for you guys, as Durante's ass, I am good. Family's good. What about you, Durante, Logan, Bell? We got my guy Lonnie in the house, and we have okay, first of all, look at Lonnie's chat, okay? I told you people call tournaments tourneys.
I was gonna say that when I saw that.
I told you.
That's crazy. I never heard that phrase before or I saw you type it out that one time.
I told your ass.
Never heard that before that.
I
That's
told your
crazy.
ass.
Tourney.
See,
I don't know if I like that one.
because see, we all know Sir K's too.
Tourney.
We don't know what Sir K's fucking smiling about, but you know now he's got a problem with tournaments. He's got a problem with tournaments, and we still okay. You know what I have a problem with? It's
I
been
love
about a year.
tournaments.
It's been about a year and a half of me asking you what you're smiling about, and you never tell us. You never told us what you're
Well,
smiling about.
well, smile might be changing after this one. I can't lie. Goddamn, because that whole smile thing is cooked. But overall, shit, man can't smile out here. I don't know what we're living in.
So last but certainly not least, we have the one and only we have the owner of GDR Finances LLC, Mr. Walk 'em down and cut they shits off, Mr. Walk 'em down and cook that shit up, Mr. Walk 'em down and run that marathon, Mr. Walk 'em down and climb that tree. We have the one and only, hailing from Green Bay, Wisconsin, we have at Gotti Devon. How are you, my brother? Thank you for joining us. And my guys are part of the Replay Mafia, JT, JB. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us for another edition of NHP. As yeah, man, we got like I said, we're gonna start you guys off with WWE news. Then we're gonna hop over to the Elimination Chamber news. Well, no, we're not. Well, there is Elimination Chamber news. Then we're gonna hop over to the AEW news. What the fuck am I talking about, bro? And then we're gonna hop over to the Full Gear predictions, man. So thank you guys as always for joining us. Talk about what the fuck am I talking about? So yes, we're gonna start you guys off with the greatest of all time. We just talked about him, bro. 2 dates. Fuck.
2 dates, 2 singular dates. We're gonna see that man in the jorts, in the shirt, all in the hat, all of it, 2 more times in our lives. That's crazy. That's insane, dude. By the
My
time we're doing that
God.
godforsaken World End Review, Cena will be retired. Think about that.
Bro, by the time we get to Christmas, John Cena will be
Mm-hmm.
retired, bro. By the time we get to your birthday, John Cena will be literally like a week after your birthday. I'll probably still be in the Great Depression because the greatest of all time will have been retired. Literally like a week. Though a week. And you know we talked about doing something literally that Saturday after Saturday night's main event. So by the time that comes, it'll be over.
You're gonna be playing pool sad as fuck.
Yo,
That's gonna be the saddest game of pool I've ever played in my life. Cause god damn, dude. Oh yeah, damn. The first Christmas with no Cena. Oh, don't do that, Gotti. You had to type that, bro. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm not ready. I gotta wear the
no.
button up. I
I,
gotta wear that shit on the 13th.
oh God. I was starting to tear up on Monday. I'm starting to tear up now thinking about this shit. This is there will be no review that we have done like that Saturday night's main event review that we will do on December 13th. I can guarantee you that. That is going to be yikes. That's going to be rough.
It really is. If y'all were here for the Wyatt tribute episode, it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be a whole lot of sadness, a whole
Oh,
lot of crying, and man, it's gonna be rough, dude. It's gonna be real rough.
so it's okay for us men to cry. And we will
It is.
we will be the example of that. We will probably look like
You'll
the
see an
biggest idiots
example.
in the community on December 13th. So,
Ugh.
the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Well, he revealed on the Raw recap. I know everybody watches their Raw recap with Sam Roberts and Doink Ambrose. I don't remember the other woman's name, but I know Doink Ambrose is on there. However,
Sarah Schreiber.
Sarah Schreiber. There, I was
Is
gonna
that,
say Megan
is that her
Morant, but I
name?
think she's the one that does the infomercials that I always see when I'm in the gym. I think she's because I think she's the one that left WWE, and literally every time I go to the gym, you know, they have all the TVs. She's always doing infomercials, so I'm like, oh, that's what's her face. I'm pretty sure that was Megan Morant. Sarah Schreiber, whatever her name is. You know, they do the Raw recap. Um, They do the Raw recap, and we we got a little bit of an insight on John Cena and his final show, because we reported to you guys many months ago that they were going to do a show, and you could see it in the thumbnail. I made a little logo for the show, just hypothetically speaking. Custom made, by the way.
That's amazing.
Thank you. They were going to
Always
do a
does.
show. I don't know about that. They were going to do a show called Ruthless Aggression, and it was going to be a John Cena tribute show. Gotti, what are you talking about? I'm trying to conduct business over here, and he's talking about a Damian Priest retirement episode. You know what? I wish that would come on
That is
December
perfect,
13th.
actually.
So you know what, Gotti, you actually might be onto something. That will be
It's
the
gonna be
only
like Sour Patch Kid.
100%. It will be sour, but then it'll be sweet at the end, because I'll know he's finally fucking gone. Good riddance. Hopefully we get that sooner rather than later. However, we John Cena shed a little bit of insight onto the initial idea for his retirement show. He revealed that he turned down Triple Idiot's pitch for a retirement show. He says Triple H wanted a show, in essence, to be a 2-hour tribute show, but John Cena rather wanted a show to feature NXT talent. Which obviously in his recent promos he shed a little bit of insight on in terms of like, he talked on Monday about how he wanted he wanted to feature NXT talent. He wanted he wanted NXT talent on the show. He wanted people to seize the opportunities that he had, I think is the wording he used. So I get it, but why couldn't they have just done Cena's idea with the show being called
Identity.
Ruthless Aggression? And like, you have, you can merge. I don't know why they didn't. Triple H is such an idiot, I swear. I don't know why he couldn't have. I don't know why they couldn't have merged those two ideas, because you could have done a John Cena little tribute package, boom, NXT match, and in between matches, because we all know fucking Triple Production likes to take triple as long to get to the next match. So I don't know why he couldn't have just, done a match, then did a little bit of tribute and especially because there's points in John Cena's career, you could have started it off with Ruthless Aggression, early John Cena wearing the tights. Then the next little tribute you could have done, as you're taking 30 minutes to get to the next match, is Word Life John Cena. Then you could have done Chain Gang John Cena. Then you could have done 2010 PG John Cena, 2011 PG John Cena. And then you could have done, a small little 2-minute package for, Workhorse, fucking 2015 wrestling his ass off John Cena, or 2016, around that era. And then you could have gradually went through the eras of John Cena until you got up to the final match. I don't know why they couldn't just merge the two ideas. The show being on a Saturday night's main event does take away from it a little bit, to be honest. I mean, it's still John Cena's, final match, and it's still a must-watch show for that, but the show should have been named and should have been tributed after John Cena. And again, you still could have had the whole undercard be NXT shit, but you could have done a tribute show like Triple H, pitched to get us to that point. I don't know why they couldn't have just merged the ideas, but it sounds like he's, triple jello for his brains, I guess. I don't know what he's fucking dealing with here, but again, it seemed like the easiest idea in the world to just merge the two ideas, but I guess that's not what they went with. The show being on a Saturday night's main event, again, I would have just liked it as a John Cena named show called Ruthless Aggression, or again, my original idea, you could have literally called the show The Last Time Is Now, because that's the name of the tour. That's literally the name of the tour. And again, the last time is literally now. So you could have just named the show after the tour, as the big finale or as the big blow off to the tour. But It's not what they ended up doing. And again, Saturday night's main event, I mean, it's John Cena's last show is just going to be on any, random show. You know what I mean? So to me, it does take away from it a little bit. But then again, it is John Cena. And, he is. We're all going to be seated. So, there's that. But again, I just don't know why they couldn't have just merged the two ideas. It seemed like a very simple outcome to me.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. And you could easily merge these two ideas into something very good because, I do like Cena's idea and I like Cena's mentality. He wants to set up for the future. He's leaving, so he doesn't just want to leave, say goodbye. It's Cena. He wants to give back, so he wants to leave and build up next talent. You could do both. You could do a tribute show named whatever you want. Ruthless Aggression, Last Time's Now, Last Show is Now, whatever you want to fucking do. You could do all that. And you could have these matches with these people from like main roster and NXT. And then, like you said, you could do the tributes, in between these matches. You could even like set up matches that are kind of the matches themselves are showing tribute to the thing you're seeing in the video package for the match. Like Dragunov, for example, you could put one of his U.S. Opens on that show. Obviously, someone from NXT can answer it, and then right before that match, you could play a whole video package of Cena and his iconic U.S. title reign, and you could just sprinkle that type of shit like a match that correlates with what you're showing for a video package of Cena on the show and still focus with the NXT talent. You could have easily made all that work. Now at the end of the day, I am excited for what we're getting, and I do love Cena's idea. It's just the identity I wish they put around Cena. I wish it wasn't a Saturday Night's Main Event identity. I wish it was a Cena related identity to that show. But I think both ideas are great, and I think you could easily combine them. And I don't know why Triple Dummy didn't think to just combine them. But either way, Cena, he's a smart man, and he deserves to get what he wants for his final match, dude. So I'm glad he is, man.
Lonnie poses a great question. Lonnie says,
Hmm.
I wonder what they do now since Sheamus is out. Well, I
Mm.
can tell you what they're not going to do. So, I don't know what they are going to do, and you do bring up a great suggestion with Joe Hendry. I could see them, I think Mark Henry would be creaming his pants about that, but, Joe Hendry is a good name to be in the tournament. And I'm sure Mark Henry was personally advocating for this. Did you see what his proposed idea?
I unfortunately I saw, dude. These legends, god damn, they would be some of the most god awful bookers in the god. No wonder Triple H sucks so much, dude. Any legend just fucking
Man.
sucks at booking a show, dude. Holy hell, what are these ideas?
So, for context, Mark Henry was doing an interview and said that oh god, he said that he said Joe Hendry isn't in the tournament, so he's not going to be the last match, but he should come out after the match and beg John Cena or ask John Cena for one more match. And John Cena would reject it, and Joe Hendry would start begging him for a match and begging him to pin him so he can let me, because I need to get this spot on because it was so ridiculous. Let me try to find this shit.
Mark, you
Okay.
goddamn gooner. What are you watching?
Okay, here we go. No, I don't know what in the freakazoid that was. Okay, so he says even if it was Gunther, I would be satisfied, but then I still would want dessert. Oh my god. I would want Joe Hendry to, seriously, bro. I would want Joe Hendry to come out and say I I would want Joe Hendry to come out and say, I didn't make it in the tournament, but before you leave, I want you to allow me the privilege of being in the ring with you. When Joe Hendry gets in the
Mhm.
ring, you would think that John would be like, listen, man, I'm done. I just had my last match. John is a soldier. And I would have Joe Hendry say, John, I don't want to fight you. I wanted to have a match with you because I wanted to do this. And have Joe Hendry lay down on his back and tell John Cena, cover me so I had a match with you and you can beat me on my record.
Is this booking or is this a fan fiction, dude?
What in the
God
what in the
damn.
whorehouse fantasy is that? Lay on my back and cover me. What the fuck, Mark? Mark's one of the cool legends too. This is why this throws me off. I don't know. I don't know what to expect anymore. I don't know. I guess somebody's got to match his freak. I mean, I don't know what this shit is. I mean, what what the what 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 is that? That is that is I don't know, man. I'm
God
lost.
damn.
I'm truly lost here. Please, Mark, please stay away from the pen, please. I mean, at the end of the day, man, I think it's after hearing shit like this, I think it's best we just I think it's best we keep Mark Henry away from a creative position. Let me get on my back
I think
so
so.
you can cover me.
Like, dog, what? What in the Freakazoid fanfic is this? Like, dude, what?
That was some of that was some of the worst. That was some of the absolute worst shit I think I ever heard in my life, bro. Joe Hendry's career after doing some shit like that would be fucking dead. They would be dead. Um,
Oh, it'd be dead. He would be, bro. You literally booked him out there to beg, bro.
please,
What?
John, cover me. That is not okay.
Please,
Okay,
this.
that is
It's
just
it's literally that backstage segment with Cena, fucking Triple H, and whoever the third person was when they were like making that innuendo backstage of like, oh yeah, you beat me, I beat you, we beat each other. That is literally that, but unironically.
please, John, cover me. No, John, don't cover him, please. No, Joe Hendry's career would actually be dead. Now again, now with the news of Sheamus being out, which I guess we could announce that before. I guess that makes more sense. So WWE has announced that Sheamus has a shoulder injury and he is not cleared to continue in the last time is now tournament. That sucks because Sheamus is a name that I wouldn't have liked to see Sheamus win the tournament. Now, I wouldn't have been mad if Sheamus won the tournament. Again, Gunther's just my guy. I just think Gunther's the guy to win the tournament, so I'm not really putting too much stock into anybody else, to be 100% honest with you guys. I would have actually liked Gunther versus Javon Evans in the final. I think that would have been really cool. I would have liked Javon Evans to have some sort of it almost kind of like when the Miami Heat a couple of years ago in 2023 were the 8th seed, but they ended up making it all the way to the finals. I would have liked some type of story for that with Javon Evans where, I think it would have really put him on the map for him to have a Cinderella story type of thing and run through the tournament just to eventually meet Gunther in the finals to the tournament and then just get mopped. I think that would have been dope. But
Almost definitely.
but Sheamus is a great name in there, man. He's obviously a name that is, one of the more, I guess, believable names in there. I mean, who really believes Finn Balor is going to go on to win the fucking last time is now tournament? Who really believed Damian fucking idiot Priest was going to be the one to go on to the finals of the tournament? I mean, that was never going to happen. Who really who really believes Zack Ryder was going to make his Cinderella run to the tournament? I mean, goodbye, buddy. We'll see you on GCW. But Sheamus was one of the cooler names in there, man, and it does suck he has to go out. But as for who can replace him, there are obviously a couple names. I could tell you a name it's not going to be, but Sheamus indeed is out of the tournament, which absolutely does suck because this guy was going to be giving us some bangers throughout the tournament, and now he's not in there. So I don't know, man. Maybe Penta is going to be the last opponent for John Cena now.
Oh dear God. Yeah, it really sucks for Sheamus. Sheamus is so great. I would love to see more matches of them in there. I would love to see the Evans and Sheamus match on television. I guess they did it on like a live event, and then Sheamus was like putting over Javon Evans like crazy afterwards. That would have been dope on TV. Like you said, I wish Evans got to the finals where he would have met Gunther. I think that would have been really fucking cool. And but other than that, Sheamus is out, unfortunately. That sucks really bad, dude. Who could replace him? I would say either Hendry, my bad, I pulled a Michael Cole, or Jericho. I don't know if Jericho's available yet. I don't think anybody knows what availability Chris Jericho has at the moment. But I think Hendry is the very obvious option here.
Well, I don't know about that, man. You know what the AEW fans are saying. You know what a lot of WWE fans are saying. You know the name. What about Edge?
People gotta give it up, dude. Please give it up. Just stop, please. This
All
is
right,
just
man. Well, here's the thing. Tony Khan was on the Ariel Helwani show.
crazy sentence.
Yeah, I know. And we'll talk about that when we get over to the AEW stuff, because I for sure want to talk about this. Tony Khan has confirmed WWE never, I repeat, never asked to use Adam Edge Copeland for John Cena's retirement tour. Now, Ariel Helwani did ask, is his contract going to be up to the point where he could be available for the retirement tour? Tony said no. Tony said Copeland is with the company through the end of the year, which is injury time. I wish Ariel would have asked him that, because, I wish he also would have asked him about that whole Ray Phoenix situation, unless I fell asleep before he asked him. But I did hear him ask him about the Miro situation. I was listening to it as I went to sleep yesterday. But regardless, we just talked about names that could replace Sheamus in the tournament. Guys, again, I'll say it one final time. I know. Trust me. I get it. We all wanted to see Edge and John Cena again. We did. I get it. It's completely normal for you guys to want to see that match. However, guys, it ain't happening. I'm sorry. Edge is not going to be a part of the farewell tour. Unfortunately, he is not going to be a stop on the Last Time Is Now tournament for the GOAT. And we're never going to get to see the match. So their last match was, I don't even know, whenever their last match was. Probably sometime in the 2010s, I'm assuming. Maybe even the 2000s decade. I'm pretty sure they might have had a match in the year of 2010 specifically. But
I'm sure.
Edge and John Cena, it's not going to happen as much as we all wanted it to happen. But as for the names that could replace Sheamus in the Last Time Is Now tournament, I mean, obviously, there's Chris Jericho, and then there is Joe Henry, as Michael Cole would say. So obviously, those are the two names that I'm sure it could probably be. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of somebody on the rod. Santos Escobar. I don't know how much interest there is to see, or how much believability there is to see Santos Escobar square off with John Cena, but or even be in the tournament. We don't know where the fuck he is. I guess he's collecting his new salary, and WWE has stalled creative on him. But regardless, it's not going to be Edge, and I could see it probably being Joe Hendry more than likely, or if things really did align, Chris Jericho, which Tony Khan did mention that he would love to see Chris Jericho still in AEW, but I think Chris Jericho is tapped out of the All Elite brand. I mean, if you listen to him making fun of their TV tapings, I don't think he's gonna be back.
No, the man was putting TNA over AEW. He's cooked at that point. That man's brain is fried. So he'll be back pretty soon.
Okay, cool. So I was right. I was gonna say, because I had a feeling that Edge and Cena faced during the whole build to the SummerSlam Nexus thing. So that makes sense. Or around the time of the whole SummerSlam Team WWE Nexus thing. So that makes sense. So Lonnie says he votes the GOAT of rap. Biggie Smalls? Oh, Drake to face John Cena in his final match. He's got, hey man, Drake's got a weird case. Why is he around? I don't know if we want him around, the greatest of all time.
It was EBM weird cases. Exactly, man.
So, I don't know if we wanted to see the Never Seen 17 versus the 69 God, but you know. So yes, the anonymous the anonymous GM, that was I think it was supposed to be Kevin Nash, I think they said, but it ended up being Hornswoggle. Fucking wonderful. Thanks.
What two options, bro? You get Kevin Nash or you get Hornswoggle. You don't get a good one.
I was gonna say we were cooked, dude. And I'm sure I'm sure you remember, Gotti. That was like a huge thing on Raw, to the point where like motherfuckers were anticipating who is the anonymous Raw GM on this laptop, and they fucking pulled Hornswoggle out from under the ring. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you actually kidding me?
So canonically, bro was just under the ring with a laptop for like probably 7 months, however fucking long they did that storyline. Like just sat there, just typing shit. No one saw him pulling up to the show every week.
you know, Cena is the Never Seen 17, and if he were to face Drake, he would be facing somebody that's never seen 18. So it will be the Never Seen 17 versus the Never Seen 18. See, Cena's never seen 17 because he's won 17 world titles. And Cena's the GOAT, so he goes for 18 and up, like a normal person.
Exactly.
Drake's never seen 18, bro. It's 18, it's 17 and below. So we know what type of timing Drake's on, bro. So I don't think we want to see that. We don't want the GOAT around Drake, okay?
No, you don't want nobody asking nobody to go out for drinks. You never want that.
Never, ever.
Never.
So, especially this new Drake. I don't know what's up with this new Drake. I could still bump me some headlines or some...
I could bump some headlines. Yeah, exactly. I could bump anything like pre-2016 or 17.
Yes. Views from the 6 was it for me. That was it. Anything after that, here and there, maybe like one song every 2 albums. Views from the 6 was the last album of his that I really fucked with. So, Chi-Town needs a Drake. Oh, trust me, we have. Okay, so all right, we do have him. We do have. Now I know his name is very. It's very in the mud now, and for all the right reasons. But when I talk about his old catalog, we do have Kanye West.
Exactly. He might be on some Triple H stuff now, but
100%.
He was the GOAT.
He, once upon a time, Mr. West was the man. He was. I'll say that.
He was.
I will say that. We do have. We also have Keith, right? We have Keith. We have. We have Juice World. God rest his soul. We do have Juice. Oh, Oh my God, we have Chance the Rapper. Okay, how could I forget my guy? The greatest album of all time, Acid Rap, bro. That man is an absolute Chicago legend. So we got a couple. Lonnie. We got a couple. Um, we got a couple, but hey, he's Almighty Sosa Batman. Come on, bro. What are we doing?
Come on, bro.
Gorillas in a fucking coop? Come on, bro. What are we doing? These bitches love
Classic, man.
Sosa, bro. Come on. Um,
They
okay,
really do.
Gotti, do not clown on me, bro.
Come on, God.
Chance is okay. I know
These
the
are
big day.
classics.
I know the big day was bad. I get it. I fucking get it. But bro, you can't tell me. You cannot tell me out of all the rap albums that came out this year, Starline was not the best. I'm just saying. Out of from all the rap albums that we got this year. Now, again, it's been a lackluster year for rap albums, but Starline was the best, in my opinion. Chance is a Chicago legend, okay? I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. Chance the Rapper is not insane. My personal favorite rap album of all time is Acid Rap. So, okay, there you go.
We do. We do. We got them. We got a lot of names, bro. We
We
got
do.
Polo G.
We do have Polo G. We do have Polo G. We do have Herb. We have Dirk. Yes. Um.
Vaughn, rest in peace. He's looking down at us. Yeah, down.
Yes. Yes. Um. So.
Definitely not up.
Oh God. So.
But
No, I'm sorry, Gotti. Okay. I am the goofball that will defend Chance the Rapper through. I'm sorry. 10-Day. That's a classic mixtape. Acid Rap is my personal favorite rap album of all time. Coloring Book. Wow. What? How great was that? How great? I'm fucking tired of you guys. How great? How great was Coloring Book? The big day. The come on, bro. I
man,
knew
you know
some.
what he did for the community?
He was not restoring the community, bro. He was killing the community. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We have there you go, Gotti. There you go. Put some lyrics in the chat for my guy Chance, bro. Okay.
Come on.
Now I'll say this, and Sir K knows this. I am the
No, trust me.
idiot. I am the idiot that was
Don't
defending
say it.
Chance while the big day was fresh on everybody's mind. And I knew it was ass, and I will never defend that album specifically. That album broke my heart. Sir K was sitting right next to me.
It was so, dude. We were sitting there waiting for it to get good.
Oh
And then
God.
it got good.
Oh, I was heartbroken. You remember, I was fucking heartbroken. Now, Starline, that's a banger album right there. That is actually a
I like that
fucking
one.
banger album. Chance, for the run he had 10 years ago, will always forever be a Chicago legend for me. Acid Rap and Coloring Book, those albums are so fucking good, and those albums are just so Chicago. It's just like it forever in my good graces. It's like Kanye in a sense. Like that old catalog, that is just like you're forever legendary for that. Like
Exactly.
and two, I'll defend. I'll even defend Drake. Okay, Take Care and Nothing Was the Same. Those albums forever, like that. Those are childhood classic albums, bro.
They really are.
Gotti, please. No, I'm sorry. I just gave
Yeah,
Gotti a stray. Lonnie, please. What are we talking about here?
please stop.
So, Twista and Vic Mensa are on Cocoa Butter Kisses as well. So, you can. Vic Mensa, I believe,
Classics.
is a Chicago rapper as well. So, there you go. yeah, man, we got that is that there's your little music talk for the. But yes, to answer your question, Lonnie, depending on who you talk to, we do have a couple. We do have a couple. We do have a couple Drakes for Chicago, I guess, in terms of city rappers. But and yes, Sir K also mentioned Polo G. You talk about the GOAT and you talk about Hall of Fame. And now I don't mean the GOAT as in he's the greatest of all time. The album, the GOAT. You talk about the GOAT album and the Hall of Fame album. Again, banger ass album. So there you go.
Great albums.
Yes, Cocoa Butter Kisses. Now, my favorite song by Chance. I love telling people this because it's so fucking corny. My favorite song by Chance the Rapper is Favorite Song with Childish Gambino. That fucking song, that song get me going, bro. I'm just saying. That man, that shit is a fucking banger. Favorite song, Cocoa Butter Kisses, no problem. Um Juice, Everybody Something.
True.
God.
True.
Nana with Action Bronson. That is banger. That is that absolute. But if you guys are looking for some suggestions off Starline, you guys got to listen to Ride. Have to listen to Ride, bro. God, slaps, bro. Fucking slaps.
Good in your
Let's.
purse.
What's up?
Good in your purse.
Oh, bro,
That shit fire.
gun in
That
your
shit's fire.
purse. Oh God, that is. How could I forget? Gun in your purse is a fucking slapper. Put this gun in your schnee, put this gun in your Burke. Come on, bro. That is. Oh God, that one is so fucking good, dude. Back to the Go is really good. Speed of Light is really good as well. Oh, Sleeper. Nobody talks about this one on Coloring Book. Angels. Dude. Oh man, Angels is Angels is so good. Summer Friends, bro. Summer Friends in the winter. That is a winter classic, bro. There is nothing like listening to that song in the winter. Like when it's snowing, such a vibe. Such a fucking vibe. Anyways, I'm sorry. Back to John Cena. You're gonna be carried away talking about music. But anyways, so we got what else do we got in terms of so speaking of a couple names on the John Cena farewell tour, or not the farewell tour, but the last time is now a tournament. Zack Ryder. I'm sorry, that name is just horrible.
Hate that name. I'm sorry. Especially, come on.
Whoa. Lonnie says the best in Chicago has to be King Von. Respectfully,
No.
I disagree.
Respectfully, no.
Respectfully disagree.
No. God, no.
No. Again,
Great.
yeah, Von is great. 100%. Von's music is great.
Very holy, very just
Yeah, very wholesome
calming,
music.
but
Gotti will tell you all about it. Von just has that wholesome, gospel, music that'll just, get you moving.
Put you to sleep.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Have you sleeping like a baby at night. But for me, the top two Chicago rappers, I guess, at the top of my list is Ye and Chance for me. Those are, and then Sosa's probably 3. So, in terms of, oh my God, Juice is 3. I'm sorry. And then Sosa. No. So those are probably my favorite, those are probably my favorite, Chicago artists. So personally speaking, anyways, Matt Cardona or Zack Ryder. That name's horrible. Again, like I was just saying, What is that? I mean, I get the Zack Ryder character, I guess, has some sort of tie-in with John Cena, but please give me a break. So Fightful is reporting Matt Cardona is not signed to WWE as of now. Last night was a one-off appearance. So we have Matt Cardona. I like Matt Cardona. I do. I really do. I think he went and goes about things the right way. In terms of like his exiting of WWE, like, you know, busting his ass on the indies, being that Iron Man on the indies and just doing his thing. You know, I really commend it. I commend it because that is a tough grind. And I get what he's trying to do. And that to me, it obviously shows how much somebody loves the business, and it shows how much you care. I think Matt does come off sometimes like he begs too much. I think that's his downfall. I think he talks a little bit too much about being back in WWE one day, which I get that's the idea, but to say it, sometimes it just comes off a little bit tacky sometimes, like you're trying to beg. However, I think him staying out of WWE is the best case scenario because he's on the indies. He's a big fish in a tiny, tiny pond. In WWE, he is a minnow in in the middle of the fucking Red Sea, bro. I mean, you can just tell. I mean, you put him on the indies, he's a top guy. You put him in WWE, I'm sorry, 85% of that fucking roster trumps that man. I'm sorry. I don't mean any disrespect. I'm just being honest because, again, I do like the guy and I do commend, you know, his grind. I do. I just don't think I don't think he and the reason I say this is because I know he wants to come back to WWE and be like a Cody or a Drew where he succeeds. I just don't see that. I'm sorry.
Oh, I like Matt Cardona. I do. He's really great on the indies, but like you said, big fish, small pond, goes to the lake, and he's getting devoured, man. I mean, a lot of times, you know, when he's just on the indies doing his thing, he's really cool, he's really genuine, and he knows what he's doing. But anytime he mentions WWE, he really just sounds like the ex high school football player that has amounted to nothing and just wants to be that high school football player for the rest of his life. And it's kind of sad and depressing a lot of the times. So, you know, it's funny. It's kind of just what it gives off a lot of the times, man. He's great. He's amazing when he's away from the company. But anytime he's talking about the company, anytime he's near the company, it just seems like peaked in high school to me, dude. It was just
Mm-hmm.
really unfortunate. He's great. He really is. His appearance was really cool. And I'm glad it seems like that's all it's going to be because I think what's best for his career is going to be being great on the indies.
Yeah, either that or, you know, maybe a place like AEW would be okay for him if Tony Khan ends up liking him. But again, in AEW, you're always subject to being that guy that Tony forgets about and they end up doing nothing with you, which I honestly think that is the case for him too. Honestly, if he did want to go to a major promotion, I think TNA is probably the place for him. I do. I think that's a place where he can go and be like a top guy. And then he could be involved with WWE too, because, you know, they're, you know, TNA fucking scavengers. So, you know, I mean, it could sort of be a win-win situation for him where he can be in TNA so he can avoid constantly looking like the small fish in a giant fucking pond of people that are better than him. he can avoid that, but then he can kind of dip in sometimes when he's needed, like on NXT shit. Or if he wanted to go back to WWE so bad, I could maybe see him working
Trainer.
in NXT as like a Ty Dillinger or Sean Spears type of role, where he's not really there to do much. He's kind of just there to be a vet, which I don't know if that's what he wants, which is, again, why I say I don't really know that going back to WWE is really ideal for his career.
No, I don't think it is.
We got another name that was in the Last Time Is Now tournament, Dolph Ziggler. According to Fightful, Dolph Ziggler reportedly has not signed a WWE deal, as his appearance was also just a one-off, which is the way Nick Nemeth wanted it to be due to being tied down to WWE for so long.
Yeah, quite the opposite perspective here.
Quite the opposite perspective here, which it was actually more enjoyable seeing Dolph Ziggler back on WWE TV. But Dolph Ziggler as well is another case where I just said with Matt Cardona, I think it benefits him to be in TNA. I really wish he didn't have this beef. I really wish his brother didn't have this beef with AEW, because I would have loved to have seen him in AEW. I think Dolph Ziggler against like Kyle Fletcher or Adam fucking Page, I think he would have just made those guys look like $1 million. I do. Dolph Ziggler versus Takeshita. Could you imagine him selling for Konosuke Takeshita? I mean, come on, dude. Dolph Ziggler and MJF. I think that feud would have been awesome. I do. For me, I would have loved to see the Wanted Man in AEW, bro. I think that just would have been fucking dope. A Kenny Omega match would have been amazing. Again, I say Adam Page, Kenny Omega, Kyle Fletcher, Swerve Strickland, Dolph Ziggler, and Will Ospreay. Come on, bro. That it annoys me so much that his brother's got this whole beef with the company, because, dude, he would have been awesome. He would have been awesome in AEW, man. But as for what works for him now, I guess TNA works best for him now. But, dude, again, I will stand by that shit, dude. A run in AEW would have been amazing. But obviously that doesn't seem to be the case. And I actually do like that he is willing to stay away from WWE and maybe just do one-off appearances, because he knows if he goes back to WWE, he's just going to be another guy at the bottom of the fucking totem pole that never gets used.
Exactly. I really like Ziggler's mentality here. He did it for Cena, for the fans, and that's the way you do it, man. He's not begging, crawling back to this company, man. He wants to be on his own, make his own name. And I respect the fuck out of that, man. He is an insanely great talent. That match went
Yes.
crazy. Solo hasn't looked that good,
Bro.
since he was the enforcer in the bloodline. That man looked like a beast. And I love Ziggler. Nick Nemeth, whatever you want to call him. Man is great. I would love the occasional appearance, if possible, with him. But he wants to focus on what he's doing outside the company, and that's great, man. Like you said, I wish he didn't have that burger ass little brother of his that fucking basically shunned him away from AEW, because he would be a beast over in
Dude.
AEW, man. But he could be a beast in TNA. He is, and I'm glad he really has that mentality.
100%. Casual Ryan Nemeth Stray, but I respect it. So we got so yeah, this is the news with Dolph Ziggler, and dude, like you were saying, Solo hasn't looked that good. Again, since Roman was fucking yelling Solo, but he hasn't looked that good since then. Solo used to be a monster, bro, and one thing led to another. And he was okay for a little bit as the leader of the bloodline. I think a lot of people gave him maybe a little unnecessary slack, but he definitely could have been presented as less of a goober, but he looked fucking great. He looked like the enforcer again, with Dolph Ziggler selling for him. But no, good mentality to have, and again, I like what he's doing, man, and I definitely. He is, again, like I said, he is one of my favorite guys from my childhood, man. I mean, he can literally make anybody look like $1,000,000, man. I mean, he made Solo look like $1,000,000. So I mean, there you go. Um, but yeah, that is the news on Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder being signed to WWE. So, speaking of the greatest of all time, John Cena, according to The Observer, John Cena is reportedly believed to be the likely headliner for the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame. See, I thought Stephanie McMahon was already announced, so like, is she not gonna headline that?
I guess not. I think that's gonna make Triple H even more jealous of John Cena.
Probably.
So that's just a great thing. But yeah, I guess she's just gonna kind of be there, and looks like Cena's the plan for the headliner. Which I mean, holy hell, what a headliner! God damn.
No, for sure. It's gonna be in Vegas, so it's gonna be the city where, and the same, probably the same exact venue, that they did Hall of Fame last year, and it also happens to be the same event 1 year later where he became the 17-time World Heavyweight Champion. I would say wait 2 years, but then that'll land us in Saudi Arabia, so I don't want his retirement or his Hall of Fame speech to be there. Um, and obviously, I think maybe it might be a little too long to wait 3 years, but um, John Cena headlining the Hall of Fame, we all knew it was going to happen. The one person I'm waiting for, though, when are we going to get Bray Wyatt inducted into the WWE Hall of
Yeah.
Fame? Because I cannot wait to see what Bo Dallas prepares for his speech, because I already know the tears are going to be flowing for that. Maybe 2028. Do not do Bray Wyatt in Saudi Arabia. Do The Rock in Saudi. The Rock's not in the Hall of Fame. We all know that dickhead wants to fucking glaze himself in Saudi Arabia. So do The Rock in Saudi Arabia. We all know that cash cow is going to be there for Mania that year anyway, to finally give us that Roman or Cody match. So do it then. But yeah, as for Cena, 2026, he's going to make us cry on December 13th, and he's going to make us cry 4 months later, all over again with his retirement speech. And I can't wait to see it, man. Obviously, that is like the most deserved spot in Hall of Fame history, though. So, Cena will be inducted and immortalized in the WWE Hall of Fame, man. So I cannot wait to see that.
100%.
CM Punk. Actually, before we get to that, Chad Gable.
Hopefully.
According to PW Insider, Chad Gable is reportedly expected to be at the Performance Center this week to work towards his in-ring return.
Oh.
How you feeling about this, bro? Are you excited to see Chad Gable coming back?
Very excited, man. I hope with the, how much people love Ludwig as, El Grande and all that, I'm sure he's going to come back and wrap that whole fucking story up. But I hope afterwards we get Chad Gable as Chad Gable, and hopefully he's doing something of importance on television. I really hope so. Man, that man should have been champion fucking how many times over now
Yes.
by now, and he hasn't. But hopefully after he comes back, he could be used the way he should be used. I hope he come back soon. I hope recovery's going great, and man, I can't wait to have that man back.
This dude is, without a doubt, top 10 in your company I may even go as far to say top 5 in your company, at least on the main roster, for in-ring performers. This dude reminds me of Kurt Angle so much, it's not even funny. And I know that's the common comparison, but he legitimately does remind me so much of Kurt Angle. And it's not even just because of like the Olympian and the singlet. Watching how smooth, literally like fucking butter, how smooth that dude is in the ring, it boggles my mind how they have yet to do anything with him. SummerSlam's coming up in Minneapolis. I really hope Triple H does something special for him there, being that that's his hometown. Because it should have fucking happened 2 years ago. And for the love of God, can we please get some sort of championship on Chad Gable, some sort of Money in the Bank briefcase, some sort of King of the Ring victor, something. Can we fucking please get something for Chad Gable? This dude has been so underrated or not even underrated, because everybody knows how great he is, so underused for so fucking long. And he is one of my favorite on the main roster. I've missed Gable so much. This dude has been an absolute Iron Man for your company, working AAA, working main roster, working 2 separate roles on the main roster. This guy's Chad Gable in one segment, El Grande in the other. I need to see Chad Gable come back as a serious wrestling machine, Kurt Angle wrestling machine type of just fucking dog, because that's what he is. And that is what he is, the workhorse of all workhorses, bro. Could you imagine this dude running Monday Night Raw as IC champion or World Heavyweight champion? Could you imagine it? And he deserves to, and that's a whole nother conversation. He deserves to be in that upper echelon of conversation on Monday Night Raw with the big dogs, with CM Punk, with Seth Rollins, with Braun Breaker, with Bronson Reed, with who's another top name on Monday Night Raw? Golly, that show's so fucking horrible. With though, you get what I'm saying. He deserves to be in that upper echelon of talent. Or if you want to put him on SmackDown, he deserves to be up there with Cody Rhodes, with Ilya Dragunov, with Drew McIntyre. He deserves that, man. It's enough of having this guy, run around doing his comedy skits, feuding with, Los World Order, Latino World Order, whatever the fuck they're called. Hanging out with Rey Mysterio, hanging out with, Cruz del Toro, whatever. That's done. It needs to be done. This guy is so fucking overdue for the light of day. It's not even funny. Please, for the love of God, do something with Gable.
Please.
However, I hope his in-ring training goes well, and I hope we could see this guy back. He'll probably end up being like a Rumble surprise, I'm assuming.
Sure, I'm sure.
So, we just talked about how CM Punk, or Chad Gable, should be in the upper echelon with CM Punk on Monday Night Raw. Well, CM Punk recently did an interview with Mostly Sports, which, by the way, did you see that video of CM Punk shooting a basketball?
No, I didn't.
Holy broken jumper. What the fuck? Phil, you're from Chicago. Phil, you're named after arguably the greatest coach in NBA history. Definitely in Chicago Bulls history. Phil Jackson. And your jumper is that?
The coach.
You came back to wrestling in Michael Jordan's house, the United Center. And that's what that jumper's looking like? Holy shit, Phil. We gotta, man, Phil. I gotta get in the gym with Phil, man. I gotta show him a jumper, bro, because, oh my God. There was so many bricks he could build a house. It was so, man, oh God. That was one of the roughest jumpers I've ever seen in my life. But it's okay, Phil, because we're going to work on it. However, CM Punk discussed the differences in WWE's pay structure compared to before. he thinks it's good and bad. The business has, he says, the business has radically changed. It was a different place when I signed. When I debuted, and then when I came back, it's such a radically different place. The thing with the title too, it also means you make more money. That does not exist anymore. It's good and bad. We all make more money now, which thumbs up. But my paycheck was always predicated on how much people were in the building. So I was driven towards ticket sales and the business of it. And then when you're in the main events, you got paid more money, and now everyone's just kind of on a salary. So I think that's good and bad. It's good for the boys, but I also feel there's not the same ambition. I always wanted to be in the main event because, again, it got me more money. And now I don't care if I'm the opening match because I'm still going to make the same. I can shower and watch the show now. Well, that's definitely the unk in him talking. Bro just wants to hurry up and shower and fucking kick back and watch the show. No, I mean, I could definitely get his point, and I feel like it's been this way for a while. You can definitely see there's not much urgency because everybody makes their downside guarantee or their their downside guarantee now. You can definitely tell there's not that much urgency, but then again, it is a good thing because you don't have to worry about the pettiness of, well, Vince doesn't like me, even though think about how many phenomenal talents there were that Vince didn't like, so these people just weren't able to make any money. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's not that these guys aren't great at their job. I personally think it is a good thing because if you do get a petty promoter and they just look at LA Knight. LA Knight, if he wasn't making his downside guarantee, this dude's just off television, and it's not because the fans don't like him. It's not because he's a shit wrestler. It's not because he can't talk to save his life. He can do all those things. The fans love him. He can wrestle his ass off. He's one of the more underappreciated in-ring performers in the company, in my opinion. I don't think people appreciate enough how good LA Knight is in between those ropes. He can talk his ass off. Again, people buy his merch left and right. But it's just because his booker doesn't like him. So because of that, you're not making money. I think that's bullshit. And again, wrestling is a business where it's not like the NBA, where you can be great and your team succeeds, but you could play, if you play like shit and you're the star player, your team obviously is going to show a reflection of that. You can put in so much hard work. And at the end of the day, somebody else determines your outcome and where you go and what your accolades are. So I think they deserve the downside guarantee because, again, a lot of times in wrestling, the fate of your career is not in your hands at all. Which, again, in sports, you can, obviously play good or you could play like shit. Now, obviously, there's different factors in maybe your coach is holding you back. Maybe injuries plague your career. There's factors like that. But assuming you're fully healthy and assuming, you are, have a team kind of structured around you, if you play like shit, then your team is going to be a reflection of that if you're a star player, right? But like in wrestling, you essentially have little to no control because at the end of the day, it's your career in somebody else's hands. So I think they do, deserve their downside guarantees. Again, like Punk said, though, the only thing that does suck out of that whole thing is ambition is not really as there as it once was, but that is also a good way to weed out who really is ambitious. Because the people that still are ambitious, you can see, and the people that kick back and just kind of want to be there, you can also tell that as well.
Exactly, and it is a good show of ambition where even though you're making something similar overall and you have this guaranteed money, you're still putting in the extra time, the extra dates, all that. And I think that really just shows the ambition of people. I think it really does. And I think it is good that people get paid because you got people like LA Knight who do all this extra ambitious stuff too, because he wants to be at the top, and Triple H just doesn't fucking like the guy, so he's not at the top. But it's good that they have the system they have because it doesn't screw him over financially, like the old system would have. So overall, I think it is a good system, and I think it could show just obvious who's passionate, who's not, and I think it's a system that benefits everybody, whether you're ambitious or not. I think it benefits and it just shows who's who in the business. I think it's smart overall.
For sure. For sure. So, Elimination Chamber 2026, the United Center. We have not gotten our seats yet. However, your boys will still be attending the show.
We will be there.
I can guarantee you I will be there. By hook or by crook, I will be there. I will be looking at that fucking screen outside of the United Center. However, I will be seeing
Exactly.
I will be seeing that number 1 Derrick Rose banner up in those rafters. I can guarantee you that. So, according to Andrew Baydala, WWE pushes limits with insane Elimination Chamber ticket pre-sale pricing. Pre-sale ticket prices have reached outrageous levels, with off-center row 1 seats going for around $5,180 each. The real jaw dropper. That wasn't the real jaw dropper? Okay. Pre-sale ticket prices have reached outrageous levels. As the center ringside row 1 on location premium package is priced at a eye-popping $32,500. What the fuck? Am I going to watch prime 1997 Michael Jordan play? What the fuck?
Apparent, dude, $32,000 for Elimination Chamber. That is insane. That's insane for Mania. That's insane for anything. You're doing this shit for Elimination Chamber. Oh, these people. I can't wait till they crash, dude. I really can't wait.
Holy moly. The pricing model falls right in line with WWE's current approach under the TKO Group Holdings umbrella, where premium tickets have become normal. Unfortunately, has become the new normal. Dude, Gotti, bro. Oh, Gotti, I sent you a text regarding Elimination Chamber. I haven't checked my phone yet, so I don't know if you've seen it, but check your IG DMs. However, I really hope Roman is there. We have not got to see prime Roman Reigns since... I don't think I've ever seen Roman Reigns since he was in the Shield. So, Roman, please show up to Chicago, bro. Please. I'm begging you. I'm begging you like I'm fucking Joe Hendry, begging fucking John Cena to have a match with me. Please. Or at least like Mark Henry wanted to see. The fuck?
Like Zack Ryder.
Legitimately, bro. 32 and unfortunately this article is correct. Unfortunately, bro, this actually is the new normal. Well, since the TKO merger in 2023, average ticket prices for major WWE events have nearly doubled, shifting the focus towards high-end, high-dollar experiences. Not really. Well, I'll get back to that. Even if it comes at the expense of everyday... Yeah. Even if it comes at the expense of everyday fans, The Elimination Chamber weekend is being treated as a full-scale WWE festival. SmackDown will be taped the night before on February 27th. Oh, is it? And internal discussions have already been underway for additional events, including potential showcases from NXT and AAA to give fans a multi-show weekend in Chicago. I will have to look into that, because if that's the case, why are they not selling combo packages for SmackDown and EC?
SmackDown yet?
That doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
what? Why are you not? You're really trying to scam it. That is really scummy if they do those tickets completely separately.
I was gonna say I'll have to hurt somebody, but so fucking WWE, man, you cannot make this up with these people. So again, unfortunately, this is the new normal. For okay, so one thing they said here is you get, what was it? What was the wording exactly? It was oh, okay. High-end, high-dollar experiences. Not really. You mean to tell me $32,000 is worth taking a photo next to the ring? Motherfucker, I'll stand up next to the barricade and take a picture next to the fucking doofus working security. I don't give a shit. What? $32,000 to stand next to a fucking
What?
ring? To stand next to a ring and walk on the stage. Motherfucker, I'll streak. I'll walk that stage. I'll go run down that fucking stage. I'll get kicked out, but I'll do it. If $32,000, at least I'll get to do it for free. Now again, I'll be sitting with CPD for the rest of the night until Sir K comes and bails me out, but I'll go fucking run down the stage. Like what the fuck is that? $32,000?
$32,000. That's insane, dude. That is a fucking scam. Just to take a picture with the ring, you get to stand in the ring. Oh, whoop de fucking do. I could probably go to some butt fuck Indie and do the same thing. It's the same fucking experience. It's not like you're in the middle of the ring where there's fans around you. They do it at like fucking an hour and a half before the show.
Man, what is that?
That's crazy.
Um, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The prices that I seen in the sections that we will sit in, normal people tickets, they weren't bad. Okay, no, they're bad. They're not bad as to what I expected. So what I expected was sevens or eights. I expected 700, 800. What I got was more of what I expected. It was actually a little lower. As you guys know, I predicted 6 to 700. What I seen was 5 to 6. So again, it was
That's good.
a tiny bit lower than what I expected. Sir K says it's that good. Sir K says that's good, which he's right, and that's sad, because that actually in today's day and age is actually good. But it wasn't horrible, but again, it is still, I mean, really, WWE, 5 to 600 fucking dollars. Imagine you're trying to bring a family of 4. You are spending, again, with ticketing fees and all that shit, you're probably spending upwards at 1,800 bucks for a family of 4. What the fuck is that? Okay. Oh wait, no, I tweaked. No. Sorry. If you got a family of 4, you're probably spending about a little over $2,000 to bring the family to Elimination Chamber, which, again, we didn't grab our seats yet, but thankfully, I did have a feeling, though, just because of the whole stigma around WWE ticket prices, I had a feeling they wouldn't, even though it was the EC, it's EC, even though it's the UC, something told me they would not, fly, for some reason, but thankfully they haven't. I don't know if that was just due to WWE doing a shitty job of letting people know that the tickets were on sale. And like I found out from other offhand sites that they were going on sale rather than WWE, and their press releases for the show. But look, man, it is, yeah, like I said, it's not, it's the ticket prices are outrageous, yes, but I expected them to be higher. So I'll say that. But again, this is me talking, okay? I am not I am not the dad that's trying to bring his fucking 2 kids and his wife to the show, because that is the man my heart truly breaks for. But
No.
I don't know, man. It doesn't surprise me, but I definitely did expect them to be worse, so I'll say that.
I expect them to be worse. It really sucks for all the families out there. That shit is way too expensive to fucking bring your family to. Luckily, and it's just us. We gonna be there. So it's doable. It's unfortunate, gotta pay that much, but it's doable. It's definitely doable. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's possible. If you ever want to be ringside, you better be rich as fuck, because if you want to be ringside and shit, you gotta pay $32,000. But overall, very interesting ticket prices. I thought they were gonna be a little worse. Glad, it's sad to say, I'm glad they're the price they are, and I'm glad they're not selling out like crazy, man. And we will be there, man. We will be there.
No question. No question. Gotti says he's seen Roman 4 times and Bailey 6. Wow. Have we seen Bailey?
Seen Bailey? I don't
Yeah, War
think.
Games. War Games. The damage
Oh yeah,
control.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We did see. Okay, yeah, we seen Bailey.
Um I seen Roman, dude, I seen Roman at a live event where the Shield showed up late to the show because they were coming from a live event that was earlier in the day in Milwaukee. And they faced Sheamus and Team Hell No, I want to say. It was in 2012. Yeah, it was in 2012, and that was when I got to see that was the one and only time I've seen Roman live in person. But come on, Roman, make the trip. I know it'll be cold, but figure it out. I don't know what to tell you. I'd bring a jacket. I don't know. Something. So yeah, that is all the news for WWE stuff, as we got an official word for you guys here from the great people over at W Energy, the official sponsor of your boys. W Energy is an energy drink loaded with vitamins and nootropics, formulated to improve focus without getting the jitters. W is a clean formula that is sugar-free, 0-calorie, free from fillers and artificial colorings, with 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. You can get your W products today with the link below and code NHP at checkout to save yourselves 10% on your next W purchase.
Truly, always got to show W. Whether workout, whatever you may need the energy for, whether it's full gear tomorrow, whether you need the energy for that, I'm sure you will. Whether it's Survivor Series next weekend, or maybe you want to get it as a Christmas gift for the ones you love most. I think they'll love W too, and it wouldn't disappoint. It'll keep you energized, it'll keep you focused, and it'll taste good all at the same time. Truly, always, gotta shout out W.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As always, shout out to the great people over at W Energy, the official sponsor of what we do here at Notorious Heels. So, we got AEW, man. Let's start you guys off with this story about AEW and their ticket prices, which we just talked about WWE and their ticket prices. This is from the Ariel Helwani show, which Tony Khan appeared on.
Crazy.
Yo. Tony Khan appeared on the Ariel Helwani show. I gotta say, I gotta commend both guys, because Ariel, along with Chris Van Vliet, I think are the two best interviewers when it comes to people that interview wrestlers, because they ask real questions. They don't ask fluff. They don't sit there and ask them, you know, what's your what do you think about your next match? How did you feel about your last match? Bunch of nonsense. They actually ask real questions. And I like that. I mess with that a lot. I appreciate the honesty. Um and I commend that both guys were able to reconcile and, find, the find the I guess professionalism in the both of them to work together again, because I think Ariel's a great interviewer, and I think he is somebody that is nice to have, whether he wants to be at the shows or just somebody to connect with your company, man. um WWE kind of used the guy when he was beefing with Tony Khan, and then now he doesn't like WWE. I don't know. I honestly think people don't like him because he's real. That's at least from what I've seen from Ariel's work. I personally like him a lot, though. Again, he asks real questions, and he's not afraid to go there. And he's not one of those interviewers that doesn't seem like he's purposely trying to pick a fight with you when he's asking these tough questions. He seems like he has his journalistic
Asking the
integrity,
question.
and that's what I can respect.
Hmm.
So,
Definitely.
I was happy to hear the news, and I was happy with Tony Khan because he did answer questions. The only thing with Tony, he adds so much fluff before he answers the question. It's like, Tony, shut up. Like, Tony, what happened with Miro? Well, Miro's amazing. I think he's a great wrestler and a great person. That's not what the fuck he asked. He didn't ask you for a fucking autobiography on Miro. He asked you what happened with him. But Tony will get there, but he just adds so much. It's so hard to listen to him sometimes because, again, if I'm Tony Khan and Sir K, you ask me what happened with Miro, I'm like, hey, basically, me and Miro didn't always have the same vision. We didn't always have the same vision, and we butted heads a lot. That's not to say I don't think he's a great performer. I think he's a great performer. I think he's a great person. Creatively, we butted heads a lot. Seems like he had a great time in WWE, and he wanted to go back, which he did. I'm happy for him. Things didn't work out, but we did try. We could just never line up our vision. But what Tony does is he'll sit there and say, well, I think Miro's great. I think he's a great person. I think he's a great performer. And I think he was great in AEW. And he's a great fucking champion for us. And he was one of the greatest TNT champions. And Tony, shut up. Get to the point. But with saying that, to answer your question, I think Miro's, as he's blinking 28,000, or as he's not blinking at all, but he's fucking moving his head around. But I think Miro's great, and he's great, and he was a TNT champion for us, and he had a great run, and he's one of the great wrestlers in AEW, and but we never seen a vision together. Like, dude, Tony, please, for the love of God, shut up. Nonetheless, he does eventually get to the answer. So he talked about WWE's ticket pricing. And so Tony actually also talked about WWE's counter programming, which I thought was funny as well. So we'll talk about we'll talk about the ticket prices first, because that is that actually goes perfectly in hand with what we just talked about. However, we got this story about the ticket pricing, man. So he says, I think the AEW ticket pricing, which is lower than WWE shows are more expensive for the fans. We have different models when it comes to the distribution. I think that what we do is very good, and it's been working for us from the very beginning of AEW, whether it was the beginning calls. We had done a live event when we talked about what? From the beginning calls, we done a live event. I think he's talking about their press conferences. And we talked about how We wanted there to be tickets in the range of $20 to $30 for fans to be able to get into the TV shows every week. That would be a consistent theme of AEW, so tickets can be attainable. He says there is still inexpensive ticketing, and the get-in price is usually pretty fair compared to the competition. It's always lower. The ringside seats are more expensive than the highest tier, but they're still more affordable than our competition. They're very more affordable than your competition, Tony.
Very.
It's like legitimately, me and Sir K could probably go to Dynamite next week, sit front row, and not even have a dent in our bank account. That's how good AEW ringside tickets, front row tickets are. I have a good friend of mine that constantly sits front, either first, second, or third row in AEW, and the tickets are like $200.
Exactly. It's insane.
So he says the ringside tickets are more expensive than the highest tier, but they're still more affordable than our competition, and they have always been, and I hope that they will always be. I will always try to keep affordable ticket pricing. That's something I care about, making sure that families and friends can go to the show and have a good time. That is, and I say it all the time, that shit is the number one thing I fucking love about AEW, and that is the one reason why I think AEW should never fucking go out of business, because they keep that family atmosphere. They just do. You know what I mean? Whether it's the wrestlers and the on-screen talent and the little things they do on screen that just make AEW have a family atmosphere, or shit like this, where you are prioritizing not robbing people, not running people's pockets. You're prioritizing what is affordable for people to have a good time. That is the number one thing I love about AEW. And that to me is why I don't care how many jackasses will sit there and tell you TNA's the number 2 promotion. You're full of shit. TNA is not fucking bigger than AEW. TNA is fucking WWE's jock sniffers. That's what they fucking are. AEW, you can't tell me a roster that has Adam Page, Tony Storm, MJF, Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay, Jon Moxley, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega is not the second biggest company in the fucking world. Sure, they run smaller venues. You want to know why TNA has bigger venues? Because they're sniffing WWE's jock. That's the only reason why they have big crowds. They don't have that WWE partnership. Who the fuck on that brand, other than Mike Santana and Nick Nemeth, is fucking interesting? I'll fucking wait.
Literally, man. Literally, they're the paid. They're the coach is the dad. You got his son's there, and his cousin's there because he's family to the team, so he gets to be on the team. That's TNA. That's the only reason they're getting the numbers they are. TNA is nothing compared to AEW, and these ticket prices are a perfect example of that. They know people want to go to shows. They know most people can't afford to go to shows, so they price them as fairly as possible, very, very fairly, and it's a good thing. It's something that's needed in the business. That's so money hungry and greedy. It's nice to have someone that actually feels like people are running a company and people care for people to be at the show, man. So it is really, really nice and really needed for the company, because I'm sure TNA, I have no idea how TNA ticket prices are. I'm sure if they have this upward momentum that they have now, they're probably going to start raising those ticket prices, thinking there's some hot commodity, and it's going to crash and burn the same way WWE is going to screw themselves over with these ticket prices at some point when they have to lower them. So AEW is doing a good and smart thing here.
Yeah, and so I had a buddy of mine, and this is a personal story of mine that I think is nice, interesting to share, maybe shed a little light on this. I had a buddy of mine that wanted to go to Survivor Series with us very badly. And he told me, let me know how much tickets are. Once I told him they were in the range of 4 to 500, he was like, shit, like sorry, man, I can't afford that. So obviously, I completely understood because it was expensive. I get it. I completely get it. Now everybody's got that kind of money. Do you know where he ended up going instead? The next time AEW Dynamite took a trip to um Indianapolis, he took his nephew and his buddy out to the show. And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you watch AEW." And he said, "Well, I don't, but I want to see what it's about." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." I was like, "If you don't mind me asking, how much was your tickets?" He told me they were $20. That
Beautiful.
is awesome. Me and Sir K seen CM Punk at the United Center return for the first dance for $60. See, that
60
is
bucks.
that is the biggest fucking bargain I've ever got in my life. It wasn't even 62. I think it was like $59. It was $59 that we got to
Yep.
go see CM Punk return for, which after ticketing fees is what, $80? But the ticket was $59 to see that. Come on, bro. That's a steal. We stole those tickets. So,
We got to see the best return in history for
bro,
60 bucks.
60 fucking dollars. $59. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Which again, that is something that AEW does that's one day could really pay off for them, because think of how many kids grow up similar to how we did, me and you, bro, where we come from families that do not have a lot of money. If AEW was around when we were kids, we probably would have been going to AEW shows up the ass. And that is one thing that AEW could have going for it, because eventually one day there's going to be a lot of kids that grow up as lifelong AEW fans just off of the nostalgia that they used to go to AEW shows all the time when they were kids, because they grew up like we did. Their families cannot afford 500-600. They can't afford $3,000 Ticketmaster bills to go to, fucking WrestlePalooza. They can't afford that. But what they can afford is for, mom and pop to take them out to Dynamite for the week. That's $30. And their Ticketmaster bill, for a night out to have some fun is, $120.
Yep.
All the Dynamites we went to, our
A lot of them.
Ticketmaster bill has never, ever, ever been under, has never, ever been under, has never been over $200. The most I've paid for an AEW ticket, which was AEW's greatest pay-per-view in the history of the company, mind you, was $215 to see All Out 2021. Which, to see CM Punk return, to see the Redeemer Miro when he was in that phase, to see CM Punk and Darby, we got to see Miro, we got to see Britt Baker, we got to see Kenny Omega, and we got to see the AEW debuts of Ruby Soho, Bryan Danielson, and Adam Cole for $215. That, again, that's a steal. That's the most I've ever paid for a AEW show. $215.
Insanely great price.
And I'm about to pay upwards of $500-$600 for a WWE show, and which will be the record. That will be the most expensive show I've ever been to.
Ticket I've ever bought. 100%.
Come on, bro. Come on, man. So I gotta commend AEW for that, because again, like I said, they will hold a huge stake in the childhood nostalgia market, like WWE did for us kids. A lot of kids are going to grow up with this whole TKO thing, only, at least from their live show experience, having all those memories of AEW, which is going to be great for long-term business. I can tell you that.
Exactly.
So, with that, according to Fightful, Sources in AEW believe that Anna Jay's contract is expiring soon. Um, this is weird because Ty Conti made a post after they got knocked out of the women's title tournament and pretty much just like thanked everybody for like the run that the team had. So it really makes me think, like, especially now hearing this, is Anna Jay headed to NXT? Because if I'm her, I'm running for the fucking hills.
Exactly. I think NXT would be good for her. I think she'd be good for NXT. I think she could use the teaching that NXT does that AEW unfortunately doesn't do for the most part. And I think that overall just be best for her. And I think it looks like that's the way it's going.
I think so too. I think so too, man. And we got however much long, as again it says it's expiring soon. So unfortunately, AEW has done an absolute shit job with her booking. So again, if I'm her, I'm running for the hills and I'm not even looking in that rearview mirror, bro. So speaking of Tony Khan on the or going back to Tony Khan, sorry, on the Ariel Helwani show, he commented on WWE's attempts to counter program AEW. He says, I do think it's done on purpose, and I understand it. It's a part of wrestling. I think we've seen it a lot, but I think other wrestling promotions that have been the challenger wrestling brand in our lifetime have seen it a lot. I think it's okay because for us, it's always worked out and we're in a great position. It hasn't ever been a thing where it's cost us anything. And even when you do something like AEW All in Texas, where we do the show in the afternoon, it really worked out for us great. And it was one of the best days in the history of our company. Dude,
So you can't kill me.
a year ago, no, legitimately, a year ago, I was burying Tony Khan on a weekly basis and I was praising Triple H. How the fuck have we got to the point where I'm praising Tony Khan because that's actually a really good attitude to have? That's a really good attitude to have because think about it. Every time WWE's went up against them, AEW has drew a giant crowd and they've actually had the better show.
They have. They've been doing. Anytime they try to challenge them with their pay-per-views, man, WWE just falls short, dude. They don't know how to fucking do a pay-per-view half the fucking time, especially this year, man. Um, I think Tony Khan knows that. I don't know if he got media training or one day he woke up, realized he was fucking rich, and AEW ain't going nowhere. So what's the worry? And bro's been chilling. He's confident, and that's what you need because at the end of the day, AEW's not going nowhere. Tony Khan is rich. AEW ain't going nowhere. WWE ain't gonna knock their TV deals off for the WWE. They think that they can knock this company down so much by doing all this stuff. Warner likes them. Now, I guess, I think me and you noticed that the last time we watched Dynamite together, they hit the Warner Bros. Logo before Dynamite. They didn't used to do that. I think that's a good spot in their relationship with Warner Bros. They got their TV deal. Their pay-per-views are always very well received. What's there for Tony Khan to worry about? He's in a good spot. He can only go up, and worst WWE can do is take an occasional great talent. Other than that, the way the business goes, he's going to get one in exchange probably a few months later anyway. So,
Yep.
what's there for Tony Khan to worry about? And I'm glad he finally realized and has that mentality. It's good. It's good for AEW. It's good for Tony Khan, and it's good for the business. And I think this is all good for the business. And that is just hilarious, man. Man knows you can't knock the company down, and they haven't, and they tried.
you know, like he says, the first time they did this was all in Texas. WWE had Evolution that weekend, which Evolution I would overall probably say was the better show, but I very much so enjoyed AEW All In. I mean, again, it dragged up until the final. Like, again, like we said during the review, the show mattered where it needed to matter. And I would take, now again, I would say overall Evolution was the better show, but I would take the ending to All in Texas over anything on Evolution. I would. That moment with Adam fucking Page choking out Jon Moxley, the panic on Jon Moxley's face as he tapped out, I get goosebumps thinking about it, and I can't tell you the last time I genuinely got excited. Up until that point, I can't tell you the last time me and Sir Kate jumped out of our seat for an AEW main event. Now, we've been excited for AEW main events, in recent memory, but to jump out of our seats, that was a fucking awesome moment. That was one of the best moments in company history. That was one of my favorite moments in wrestling all year. That was one of my favorite matches in wrestling all year. So, for Tony Khan to have this type of attitude, and don't even get me started on WrestlePalooza, because if you think WrestlePalooza was better than All Out, then you're a fucking moron. I'm sorry. You guys know I don't call people out for opinions, but bro, that is one of the, if you actually think that is one of the most god awful takes I've ever seen in my fucking life, bro. However, this is a great mentality to have. Again, like Sir K said, this is basically Tony Khan saying, you can't kill me. You just can't. I got the talent to back me up, and I got the bread to back me up. So there it is. And now he has the locker room morale to back him up. So
people like working there. That's all you need. People want to work there. People like working there. People put in a good word for other people coming in. That's all you need, man.
100%, dude. 100%. So we, again, we are in a day and age where WWE is now trying to be petty and counter-program AEW, and at least if it goes similar to how it went for WrestlePalooza, hopefully they learn their lesson to back the fuck off, because AEW, if you continue to do that, you're eventually going to get hit with those. Tony Khan is going to put together some god tier card that is going to absolutely slaughter your shows, because Triple Letdown tends to do that quite a bit, and he is going to continue to let down, and eventually Tony Khan will continue to gain point and point and point and point and slaughter him in this competition game. So you could try it, but again, they're still putting on good shows, and they are still selling their crowds out. So again, you look stupid. So Triple Doofus should back off the next time he thinks about counter-programming AEW, because if you're counter-programming AEW and your idea of a counter-program is to put on a show like you did for WrestlePalooza, you might as well see the fucking door. Yeah, you're over. And with that, Tony Khan also spoke on the in-ring status of Adam Cole. Fuck.
It sucks, dude.
So, according to the Ariel Helwani show, Tony Khan spoke and was asked about the status of Adam Cole with a lot of uncertainty over Cole's future. Tony said that's hard. That's hard. Adam Cole I love so much, and I think Adam Cole is such a great wrestler, and he's also a really good friend. And it was very hard when I got the phone call the morning of All in Texas that Adam Cole was not feeling well. I was really excited about what Adam Cole had done in 2025 to work his way to a top position and becoming the TNT champion. And it was also a great comeback story. I'm just glad that he was able to tell us when he didn't feel good about wrestling anymore. I think it would have been the right situation. He said, I think it would have been the right situation for Adam Cole to wrestle again. I think it's at least possible that we keep Adam Cole a part of the AEW family, but I want to get to where he feels good about traveling and doing things every week again. I've been open with him, and I've been open with him that when he's ready, There's always a role for him in AEW. He's been a commentator at times. I think he's been a host of one of the shows. He's great for that. And he's also a great talent. And he could be involved with a lot of things. If he ever did want to wrestle again and it was the right situation and everybody could wrap their heads around it, so to speak, I think it would make a lot of sense. But anything involving head injuries or serious injuries, I always want to look at and evaluate, does this make sense? Is this the right opportunity to do this safely? And where it's going to be a good outcome for everybody. Yikes. I had a feeling this was kind of where Adam Cole was, because if you watched him at All In, something just seemed off. And what I mean by that is mentally, Adam Cole just looked demoralized. He looked like his heart had been ripped from his soul. It really did. It really did, man. He looked defeated. He looked like he had been fighting a fight for so long that it's eventually started to get to him. And it was heartbreaking. It was very heartbreaking to see, because for me, obviously you guys know, shout out Sir K, but you guys can see I'm wearing my OG Johnny Gargano shirt. Point being, you guys know I'm a big NXT guy. And seeing him out there as a part of my favorite faction in NXT history, I think back to those memories. And I think back to those guys all cutting trailers in their little semi-truck with all their scaffoldings around them. I think of all the cool moments. And I think of all the great matches. I think of everything that I think of watching Adam Cole debut in AEW. And it just breaks your heart to see, because you know how great he is, and you know if this ends like this, which if it does, it's completely fine, but if it does, he is one of the absolute greatest what ifs in NXT history. Which just, it really sucks to see. He's not one of the, sorry, he's one of the great ifs in wrestling history. He was fulfilled in NXT, one of the greatest what ifs in wrestling history, along with some of his other fellow NXT people. But it just sucks to see. But however, I get it. It's a head injury. Do not play around with stuff like that. So as heartbreaking as it is, you got to understand it. And I'm very grateful that Tony Khan is understanding of the situation. And, you know, again, even says if he doesn't want to wrestle, he'll always have a spot here. So it's one thing WWE does for Big E, and that's one thing I could commend AEW doing for Adam Cole.
Most definitely. I could really commend it. It's horrible, man. That man truly is a legend with all the stuff he did in NXT, all the stuff before NXT, especially NXT. And his AEW run has just been plagued with injury, man. And I think at All In, it finally, like you said, it got to him. And he had to step away, man. And it looks like he might have to step away permanently. That sucks, dude. That's horrible. He is a crazy what if in the business, man. And I wish it would have worked out. And I hope it could still. But whatever's best for his health is what's best. And I really hope he could just live good, man. I really hope so. And I hope, whatever spot he wants, he gets in AEW, no matter what it is. And it sucks, man. It really does suck. I wish him the best, man.
Absolutely, bro. So that's everything. That is everything we got here today. Excuse me. For this edition of the news. And now, moving on here to the Full Gear 2025 predictions. First match, we have the $1 million match. Tony, please. We have Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express versus Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks. What the fuck is even this? I mean,
I said it on the last AEW pay-per-view, so I'm going to say the exact same thing again here. I hope the Bucks lose so they could stop this money-changing, need money gimmick. Said it
Yes.
last pay-per-view, and I have to say the exact same thing here.
Like, yes, we get they're not EVPs anymore, but they're still under contract. You should still be paying them. Why do they not have any money? I don't know. I'll go with Kenny and Jurassic Express.
Same, I think they still win that.
We have the four-way women's tag, which this is for okay. Winning team picks the stipulation, or winning team picks semifinal match stipulation. We have Marina Shafir and Megan Bayne versus Tony and Mina versus the Babes of Wrath versus the Sisters of Sin. The fuck? Uh, um, yeah, that's Harley, Cameron, and Willow. I'll go with Tony. I'll go with Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir.
Same. I think they've been completely like dominant throughout this tournament so far.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're picking the match stipulation for the semifinals and not the final. I don't know why you don't do this before the finals. All right, but I'm still gonna go with Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir. Good lord.
There you go. We have Fletcher Briscoe 6.
Fucking sick.
This is a no DQ match, and if Mark Briscoe loses, he must join the Don Callis family. And Fletcher will lose this. Briscoe will lose this. Fletcher will retain, no question.
No question. Briscoe is joining the Don Callis family. They're gonna do that fucking stupid shit where the babyface has to join the heel team for a timing, and it'll probably be Fletcher Briscoe 7 that breaks him out of the group. So, dear God.
Yes. We have the National Championship Full Gear Casino Gauntlet match. I actually like the gauntlets. It's like AEW's thing. It's like the match type they created.
Yeah.
It's specific to them. I actually like it. It's different. It's like a reverse Royal Rumble. So I actually like it. Bobby Lashley drew the number 1 spot, and Benjamin Shelton drew the number 2 spot. So these guys are going to be fighting for a little bit. As for who's in the match, maybe we see MJF return here. He's got the little beef with the Hurt Syndicate. Maybe we see Swerve Strickland return here. He also has past beef with the Hurt Syndicate. So I don't know what we'll see, but yeah, that's that, bro. So we got the Casino Gauntlet match here for the National Championship. I'm hoping it goes to Bobby Lashley because I would love to see Bobby in a singles capacity. So, also because he's the only name other than Shelton Benjamin that is confirmed for the tournament, or confirmed for the Gauntlet, I'll just go ahead and say Bobby.
Exactly. I'm overall say Bobby. Only other person I can think of is maybe I don't know. I forgot his name. How did I forget his? I just thought of him. You know, it's gonna be Bobby Lashley. I hope it's Bobby. Oh, it's Mike Bailey. That's his fucking name. Speedball. Goddamn.
I
My
wish.
bad. Oh man, I wish. So either Mike Bailey or Bobby Lashley. And to be honest, whoever wins, they could. I would have them feud with each other anyway. So if you want Mike Bailey to, I don't know, chase Bobby, or if you want Mike Bailey to have a little run, and then Bobby comes in and takes it from whichever one. You do either or. So those will be my two guys. I want to win this match, man. But the national championship, man. We just got three mid card titles again.
Don't know what the point of the merger was, but okay. We have Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander at Full Gear again. If you guys remember,
Again.
we got this last year at Full Gear, but Stat was not the women's champion yet. This was just for the TBS title. As, yeah, I don't know. This looks a little stupid. Why does Mercedes get to challenge all these different champions without putting her belt on the line? Why does she just get to be
Yeah.
TBS champion and not
Never put her title on the line.
literally? Mercedes has like 13 belts now, bro. Do not fucking do Chris Statlander like this, dude. But I honestly have a feeling her time might. It's not that Stat's time is up. Mercedes' time is
Yeah.
now. They want Mercedes to have that belt now. It's not. I honestly think Mercedes is lobbying for Athena to be the one to, and I think that's why she's working with her so much. Like they work together in this tag tournament. I think Mercedes is actually going to beat Chris Statlander for the title, and I think Mercedes will end up dropping this too, because I don't see Mercedes losing again. It was already mind-boggling enough that she lost to Toni Storm at All In. I don't think she's going to lose again. I think Chris Statlander is going to have to pay for Toni Storm, for Tony's sins. I think so.
I think so. Yeah, like you said, I don't think it's time for Statlander to lose, and I don't even think they think that. I think they just stalled as much as they can
Yes.
for Mercedes to not win the title, to where I think it's guaranteed here, man. I think she's gonna get the title, and I think all of this is finally gonna start to unravel after this win, man. So I think it's an obvious Mercedes win for me.
For sure. So, we have in a no-holds-barred match, Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. Pretty big match for young Kyle over here. This one's interesting because I could see Moxley losing and him getting kicked out of the Death Riders, but also there's no fucking way Kyle O'Reilly beats Jon Moxley in a one-on-one match. I'll go Mox, and I will say they just save the turn for World's End.
Yeah, I think they overall saved the turn for World's End. I think that's where Moxley's world comes to an end.
Yeah.
And I think they're saving it for that. I could see this as like the last victory of hope for Moxley. Even I could even see him having a very like cowardice victory. Maybe it's like heavy Death Riders help for the win or whatever it is. I could see it a very cowardly win for Mox, and then that obviously reflects what Mox has been on. So I still overall think Mox is going to get this win, and then whatever he does at World's End will unravel into his end. So I'll say Mox here.
For sure. Yeah, I'll go Jon Moxley too. I think he will hold on a little bit longer until we get to World's End on December 27th in Chicago, man. So there's that. Speaking of the Death Riders, we have Pac versus Darby Allin. After he done threw him in a pit of fire, quite literally. I will say Darby. I think this is how Darby gets his match again with Moxley at World's End. And then I think Darby will beat Moxley clean, fair and square, no Death Rider help. And then I think they turn on Darby, or a turn on Moxley, unless Pac beats Darby. Darby ends up getting the match with Mox and beats Moxley. So then they just say, why was Pac able to beat him, but you can't? type of thing. So then they turn on him. It could go both ways, but I will. Uh, I'll go. You know what? I'll
Oh,
throw an oddball pick out there. I'll say Pac wins this.
okay, I respect it. I respect that. I'd be cool with that. Yeah, either way they take this route, I'm cool with it. I think they might give this one to Darby. I could see Moxley somehow being loses here, for whatever that might be, or maybe even just in a loss. Pac, obviously, they're going to blame the influence of their leader, John Moxley. Um, so either way, I could see it going. I'll give it to Darby. But you never know, man. But overall, the story's heading in a very, very good direction.
Yes. So just for a little glimpse, we can attend AEW World's End, a pay-per-view
Okay.
for $70. And as a matter of fact, if you have a party of 4, the tickets drop down to 60 a piece. $57 a
Look at
piece.
that. Man, we just want to go see World's End.
Had Will Ospreay been on the show, I probably would have took you up on that offer, but no, I'm okay. Um
Come on, man. What? You don't want to see fucking Briscoe Fletcher 7? You don't want to see that?
if I got to see, dude, World's End, oh, they got so lucky last year. If I got to see Will Ospreay wrestle twice in one night, the one against Okada and Fletcher, that would have been worth it. No Will Ospreay, no Johnny. I'm sorry. I, I love a lot of people in the company. Will Ospreay is my guy, bro. And everybody else I have seen before. Which, granted, I have seen Ospreay before, but that was still when he was with New Japan. So, I want to,
Yeah.
I would love to see AEW Ospreay, I guess. But we then now have Brodito versus FTR. I think Adam Copeland is coming back soon, so FTR will get the titles back to drop them to CNC.
Yes, I think FTR will drop it to CNC, and I think FTR obviously is going to win here. This is probably one of the most least interesting matches they could have ever came up with. FTR wins again, LOL. That's what it's going to be.
The most I felt for FTR was the other day on Twitter when I was reminded that it's been 9 years since their match with DIY at TakeOver Toronto. Current day FTR, I feel nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Feel nothing, not an ounce of feeling anywhere.
Nothing. Nada. Now we have Adam Page versus Samoa Joe in a steel cage match for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm very interested to see Deathmatch Joe. Have we ever seen Joe bleed? Because I'm very excited for it. I think he's going to look like a dog.
In this match, I'm very excited to see Deathmatch Joe. That's very exciting, dude. I'm very intrigued to see what and how he does in a death match. This is very exciting.
Very, very, very excited for that. And obviously, we know this is not going to Samoa Joe. This is a filler feud if I've ever seen one. What's next for Hangman after this? I genuinely couldn't tell you. I would love if you don't end up putting the national title on him, dude. Put Page in a feud with Lashley, bro. I know Lashley will probably feel some type of way about it because he don't want to lose, but like, I would just love to see that. I think Bobby's great. I think he has a very cool big man type of style. A lot of people think it's boring. I think it's cool. And Bobby had great stuff with Swerve, so like, I really want to see what he can do with Page. But we'll see. We will see, man.
I think that would actually really work out because if Swerve's coming back, you have the easiest excuse for Bobby not to win. Swerve could come back, screw over Bobby. They could do the little Swerve and Bobby feud. Boom. He didn't really lose to Hangman.
Yeah, they could pick that up
I would
too.
love
it. Excuse me. So yeah, again, I love Joe, but this is a filler feud if I've ever seen one, man. So We all know Paige is winning this, but I'm excited to see these guys in a steel cage, man. I'm very excited to see that, and yeah, I fully expect this to be better than their Wrestle Dream match. So, yeah,
100%, 1000%. Very excited for the match, but very obvious Hangman win.
for sure. So that is everything, man, and that is gonna do it for this edition of NHP, man. This has been episode 293 of NHP. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us. Thank you guys to everybody in the live chat, my guy Gotti, Lonnie, and Logan. Thank you guys so very much for joining us here today for this edition of Notorious Heels. And as always, oh, and my guys, part of the Replay Mafia, it has been always a pleasure for my Johnny.
And I, Sir K.
And that is going to do it for this edition of NHP. This has been episode 293. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us. Thank you guys. We love you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you all tomorrow night with the AEW Full Gear 2025 post-show review.
Peace.